Hi, everybody. All right, let me share my screen so we can get started. All right, so you should be able to see the slide. Sorry about that. Wally was barking because he thought someone was at the front door, but it's just our flag, our Colorado flag. Blows past our camera and then it notifies us that someone's at our front door. But it's nobody, it's just the flag. All right, lesson 14, friends. Hello, students. Today, we get to show what we know by reading a new book and answering some questions. We will also be doing some role play and reflect on our learning. So we're going to read a book. We're going to apply all of the key elements that we've been learning to the new book. So let's get up out of our seats. If we're sitting down, please stand up. My class, you are in class. Hopefully you guys are watching at audience view. I'll leave a note for the sub to watch this audience view so you have some room to do this. Folks at home, please stand up, step aside your table or wherever you're working. So let's do the sun movement chart. So you're gonna get ready to stretch. So you can keep your eyes open or you can shut them. We're gonna take 3 deep breaths. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. After our 3 deep breaths, we're gonna crouch down. We're gonna hug our knees. We're gonna hug our knees. I don't think you can see me, but that's all right. You don't need to. Hug your knees. You can grab your wrists to hold on to each other. You can lace your hands, your fingers together. As we hug our knees, relax your neck, so look down. Take a few more deep breaths. Make sure you have enough room because now we're going to jump up, extend your legs and your arms like a 5-pointed star. Jump up, extend your arms and your legs so your hands are high, your feet are wide. We're gonna repeat the last 2 steps. So crouch on down, hold your arms, relax your neck, jump up, 5-pointed star. Let's do it one more time. Toe heel your feet closer to touch, crouch on down, hug your arms, and then jump up, 5-pointed star. Allow your arms to come down by your sides. Open your feet if they're not open already, so more than hip distance apart. These are your hips. Make sure your feet are wider than your hips. We're gonna stretch your arms all the way down to the floor. Relax your back and your neck. So look down to the ground, try touching your toes. If this hurts, bend your knees, friends, bend your knees. Take a deep breath. Slowly stretch all the way up, reach for the sky. We're gonna reach our arms all the way to the right side. If you need to, you can bring your feet in line with your body. So reach all the way to the right. Reach all the way to the left. Return back to center. Stretch your arms down. And cross your arms in front of your body. And it says cross your arms in front of your body to come up again. Oh, I see. It's like a windmill. So we're going to cross our arms and then come up. 5-pointed star arms. Relax them down by your sides. Come up again. Make sure you're not by anything, a wall, a friend. Do not smack them on accident. Reach all the way to the right once more. Reach all the way to the left once more. Return back to center and then touch your toes. Remember our inversion, so your heart is higher than your head. So those of you in my class, we usually widen our feet, hands behind your back, allow your head to hang. Hold it here, allow the blood to flow to your cheeks. This is called an inversion, where your heart is higher than your head. It's very good for your sense of motion, your vestibular input. It's where you can kind of like resets your sense of motion. Slowly come back up when you're finished. Let the blood flow back down to your heart. Take a deep breath. All right, let's continue with the moon movement chart. So stand with your feet apart. So kind of like hip distance apart. So hips, put your hands on your hips. Take a look at your feet. Make sure they are hip distance apart, maybe even a little bit wider. We're gonna stretch our arms all the way down to the floor, similar to our sun movement chart. Relax your neck. Let it hang heavy here. Relax your neck. Slowly bend your knees. Allow your spine to straighten, keeping your arms by your side. Let's turn our palms outward so they're shining away from us. We're going to lift up our right arm, keeping the left hand to our side, and then stretch over the body. Kind of like a waxing crescent, a waning crescent. Bring your arms up, drop your right arm down to your side, and then reach over with your left. Bring both arms to the middle. Allow them to drop down by your sides, straightening our spines. We're going to lower our hands to our body. Now we're going to lift both of our arms to form a circle above our head, like our full moon, kind of like yesterday. So we're going to keep our arms in a circle, and we're going to slowly stretch our back. So you're going to lean back. A good thing to do is to squeeze your glutes. So squeeze your butt cheeks together because it helps protect your lower back. It sounds funny, but I promise you it will help. Make a triangle with your fingers. So make a triangle with your fingers. Put it above you and lean back. Hold it here. Relax, straighten your back. Put your hands down by your side. Now we're going to reach our arms out in front of us and then act as if you were sitting in a chair. So you're going to lean back. As you lean back, you're going to reach forward with your arms. Make your arms into a circle once more and lift it above your head. Good job, guys. All right, sit back down and let's get started with our lesson. So let's load our bow and arrow. Take a look at our learning target. I can ask and answer questions about key details from Kitten's first full moon. Aim, fire. All right, that's the name of our book, Kitten's First Full Moon. So hopefully you guys got to watch the video earlier before this video. Make sure you watch Kitten's First Full Moon. So who are some of the characters from the text that we've read so far? So let's think about all those books that both classes have been reading about. We both have been reading the same exact book. So think about Papa, Please Get the Moon. Who was the character? Who was the main character in Papa, Please Get the Moon? Monica, right? She was a little girl. What about who was the main character in Summer Sun Horizon? The sun. They talked about the sun a whole lot. And what about, sun and moon were also in what book? What was the last book that we just read? The last book that we read was Why the Sun and the Moon Live in the Sky. And so the sun and the moon, you can see these are some of our main characters. Where did these stories take place? So think about Monica. Where did her story take place? Outside, right? What about Why the Sun and the Moon Live in the Sky? At Sun and Moon's house, right? So we know that every story that we read or listen to, that story is going to have a main character or main characters, plural. They're going to have more than one, and a setting. So we have characters and setting. characters, and settings. So let's think about our book that we just read, Kitten's First Full Moon. So think about it. Whisper in your hand, who is the main character? Who is the story? Who did the story show? That fly, was it the fly? The little flies that the kitten licked? No, who was it? Whisper it. I really say. It was Kitten, right? So let's take a look at our storyboard story elements board. You can see that we have characters, setting, and then our what happened in the beginning, middle, and end. So we're just going to focus on the top of this board for today, characters and setting. So let's think about it. Who are the characters? Who are the characters in that book? If you need some help, we are actually going to rewatch a little bit of the film. All right, guys, so who is the character? Who is the main character of this book? Kitten, yeah, Kitten. So let's dive a little bit deeper. How would you describe the cat? How would you describe Kitten? Kitten, so if you think of the word kitten, is a kitten a baby cat or a full-grown cat? A baby cat, right? That's what kittens are. Kittens and puppies, they're before they become the cat. They're before they become the dog. How else would you describe Kitten? Throughout the whole video, throughout the whole book, how does Kitten act? Maybe she's hungry, right? She wants that bowl of milk. She's hungry. Do you think she's adventurous for going out and past the fields and trying to look for the moon? Yeah, if she wasn't adventurous, she wouldn't. She'd just stay right there on the porch. Right there. But she wiggled her bottom, she jumped up, and she tried catching the moon, right? Because she thought the moon was what? Yeah, a bowl of milk. So we can also describe her with color. So what color is Kitten? She's a cat with white fur. A young cat with white fur. So we're going to put in the character, who the character is. The character, or the main character, is Kitten. Say it with me one more time. The main character is Kitten. Good job, guys. Let's take a look at the setting now. So I have that video once more. We'll play it. Take a look. There was the little bowl. Take a look right there. If that's the moon, what time of day does the moon come out? Night, right? So the setting, it's going to be at night. But where is she? So if we take a look at the beginning of the book, some pictures from the beginning of the book, do you see how she's sitting? Do you see how she's sitting right here? I don't know if you guys can see these, but these are pillars. If you go outside, sometimes the front porch of your house have pillars, and then they have like it's a roof right out in front of your front door. So that way when you go inside, you don't get rained on. Say if you were coming home with groceries, that little awning above your porch would probably protect you. So that's what I think that Kitten's under right now. She's on her porch, right? And then take a look. Where else is she? Take a look at the pictures. Be a close reader. Where are trees? Are they inside or where at? Outside, right? So I would say the setting is outside, right? It's going to be outside at night, maybe on Kitten's front porch. So let's take a look at the setting. Yep, and there's a little house outside at night. All right, guys. So what you guys are going to be doing is on your response sheet, you are going to be answering who is the character and what is the setting of the story. Who is the character and what is the setting of the story? Before we get to that, online learners, you guys can pause the video right now and answer it. For my in-folk students, we are going to look at part 2. So we're going to be completing 2 pages. How many pages? 2 pages. Yes, we're going to look at part 2. So online learners, when you're ready, unpause this and then you guys can start on part 2. So part 2, based on the pictures on Kitten's first full moon chart, which the sub will be showing you some more pictures. I think there's only 1 book in the classroom, so we can't put a book on each table, but that's all right. So based on the pictures on Kitten's first full moon, which word would you use to describe how Kitten is acting? So before we even, let's actually take a look at all of these words right here. We have brave. So think about brave. Think about a knight. Think about an army man going out to battle. And do you think he wants to go out to battle? No, he's probably scared, but he has to be brave. He has to be brave in order to actually get out there. What about scared? Think about scared. If you saw someone scared, how would they look? Would they be like this? Smiling? No, they'd probably be like, oh my gosh. Their eyes would be big, nice and wide. Terrified. Show me a scared look. Look at your neighbor or someone at your house. Look scared. Look all around scared. Ooh, like you're downstairs all alone in the dark. Ooh, yeah, I'd be scared. Think about curious. Look at that word curious. Curious. What does curious mean? Curious. Think about it. Curious is kind of wanting to know more. Like when we wonder, we're curious about something. Oh, and we have smart. So when for my class, if I do this, this is use your brain. Smart. Being smart about something is when you're planning ahead, when you have the plans. What about silly? Everybody, show me a silly face. Cross-eyed, maybe smiling a little bit. Yeah, if you're silly, you're probably happy. You're acting goofy. Now, look at happy. Give me a happy face. If you're happy, you're grinning, you're smiling from ear to ear. And adventurous. So adventurous, sometimes you can't really see that on a facial expression, but adventurous is it's when you want to go out and hike and you want to explore and you're trying to find new things. So on part 2, it says, I think Kitten is acting. I'm going to take a pen and I'm not saying any word is wrong in here because there may be more than one answer, but you have to tell me why. You have to tell me why. So say if I were saying, I think Kitten is acting brave, I would circle it and I'm going to write it right here. I'm not saying that brave is the answer. There can be more than one answer, but you need to tell me why. Because I see. So if you need to, you can rewatch the video. I think Kitten is acting brave because I see I see the kitten doing what? What is she doing to act brave? We could, let me erase the pen. What if I put scared? I would say, I think Kitten is acting scared. And then you're going to have to support it by a detail from the book. I think Kitten is acting scared. So you should be able to write the word above here correctly because it's provided for you. I think Kitten is acting scared because I see her what? Was she shaking? Was she terrified of something? I think Kitten is acting curious. So you're going to circle it and then write it in the first line. And then you have to provide a detail from the book, from the story. I think Kitten is acting curious because I see, what do you see? What do you see? How is she acting curious? Maybe you say, I think Kitten is acting smart. Oh, my pen. My pen. I think Kitten is acting smart. Why is she acting smart? So you have to tell me. I'm not saying any of these are wrong, but you need to pick one and tell me why. There are going to be some words that describe Kitten a little bit better than others, but you need to tell me that. So this is part 2. So that is the end of today's lesson. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not yet. Hold on. Once you do, let's see, online learners, please pause the video, answer this. My in-class folks, please shake out your shoulders. I know you're sitting for a while, so you're gonna have to bear with me, but let's get through this. I can describe the characters, setting, major events, and central message of Kitten's first full moon. Take a look at central message. Do you see how it's blue? That means this slide wants us to pay attention to central message. Central message is the main idea the author is trying to share. So why did the author write this book? I've been asking you about this in every single story, but why? Why would the author write this book? So let's take a look, a reflection at all of the books that we've read so far. So why the sun and the moon live in the sky. Who was the book about? The sun or the moon? It was about both the sun and the moon, right? So why do you think the author wrote this book? He wrote it in our chart that we've been adding to. It says to explain how the sun and moon got in the sky. All right, what about Summer Sun Rising? You remember that book? Remember how they were on the farm, that sun was rising? So who is that story about? The sun, right? And why do you think the author wrote about the book? To describe what happens on a farm from sunrise to sunset. Because remember, summer sun rising and a summer sun setting. What about Papa, please get the moon for me? Was that one about the sun or the moon? It was about the moon, and the author wrote it probably to imagine what it would be like to play with the moon, because can we touch the moon? Maybe if we travel, but we have to stay in school for a little bit longer and then we'll go up to the moon. But the author was trying to imagine, trying to create a story about what it would be like to play with that moon. And then when it goes to a new moon, it disappears. And then we have The Sun and the Moon by Lindsay Yankee. Who is that one about? Remember with the foxes and how Moon was like, please, sun, trade me your day, I'll do anything. Yeah, that book was about both the sun and the moon. And so why do you think the author wrote that book? To imagine what the sun and the moon might think about, or to describe what wonderful things that happen on Earth at night, right? To show Moon that he truly love himself and what the night has to offer. So if we were tomorrow, our next video, we are going to be answering these questions, okay guys? So just think about it, central message for tomorrow. But today, I want you to head back to your desks. If you're in class, you are going to be filling out who the characters are, where the setting is, and part 2. I'm going to erase this. Erase the pen. So you are going to pick one of these words, the one that best describes Kitten. So there are some words that describe Kitten. Maybe they all describe Kitten, but only one is going to be the best. So I want you to pick whichever one it is, and then why. Give me a detail from the story, because I see Kitten doing what? What makes her brave? What makes her scared? What makes her curious? What makes her smart? What makes her silly? What makes her happy? What makes her adventurous? All right, friends, that is it.